All right, back again with another film study, and I wanted to do this one on Korbin Albert because I think she's such an exciting young prospect. We got 6 games with her at the Gold Cup, so I went back, watched all of those, cut over 15 minutes of footage, and I would love to watch out with y'all to try and figure out her play style and see if you think she's going to fit into the U.S. Women's National Team. Let's get into it. Let's start by thinking about how we measure success for Korbin Albert on this team, because I don't think that's goals and assists. I think she offers something very important, but a lot more hard to quantify, and I think we want to ask ourselves, how is it that she's going to help the team possess the ball and advance the ball up the field? So this is the group stage game against Mexico. Korbin Albert is number 15 here. And I want to pay attention to how she spaces herself in relation to her teammates, in relation to the opposition, and how it is that she's moving the ball up the pitch. So you see her letting Sonnet take the run here, kind of hanging behind. When Sonnet hits a lull, she's up close, and she realizes she needs to get in space. Nice move to get out there. Dishes it to Dunn, who gets stuck, gives it back to Albert. Nice incisive pass there to start moving. So it's the whole middle third of the pitch that she moved us through, and she's made it look pretty effortless and pretty simple. So possess and advance. Let's break those two things down and understand how she's doing each of them. With possession, I think she's really driving it through regaining possession. You can't even see her in this frame, and there you go. She comes flying in, takes that ball, and just makes sure the team still has possession. She's going to do that same play a lot. She's very, very focused on counter prevention and making sure in the first 4 seconds after a ball is turned over that the U.S. are winning it back. Now this clip I really like because in the span of 45 seconds, she's going to win the ball back, I'm going to say 2.5 times, and this is the kind of work that I feel often goes unnoticed but makes a really big difference. So that was the first one there. And she's just doing a really nice job holding her spot in the play and keeping the formation. You know, she doesn't get too excited sprinting up. She doesn't seem like she gets caught needing to track back. You know, here she is out here just watching, holding that space nicely. That's the second one. Spacing still looks really, really good. I like how she lets Coffee run with it here, and then there, sees that she needs help. I'm going to call that the half. I think she gets enough of a foot on that to impact it. And there you go. That's a team goal right there. So that kind of stuff really makes a big difference to the team overall, and she's just constantly winning those balls back. This next play is from a final against Brazil, so quality of competition steps up a little bit. This touch here, she's not going to regain possession, but she is just going to pop it out, and I think that's a great decision because we have too many players sucked towards the touch line. It's going to allow the team to just get reset here. But what happens next is I feel like the ball is just bopping around a lot, and she's trying to help the team get that calmed down. So here we go. It's just kind of back and forth. She does do a nice job here to concede that space to Haran. Helps her out when she sees it. And I love this touch to just move the ball away from all of this congestion and just start with the tons of space that we have over here. The problem is, I think we're kind of at a point where the national team players are sitting in kind of two camps, one that's used to more possession-based football and one that's used to more transitional-based football. And it's going to be a case of just making it all come together through the Olympics. And in this case, I really think, you know, Korbin Albert is trying to slow this game down, but this is what Trinity Rodman does with the ball. So, you know, it's just going to be things, getting on the same page, getting that kind of stuff cleared up for the summer. And then this one was less good. This is against a group stage game against Mexico, and admittedly a lot of players had a rough game. That was a fantastic touch. Sorry, I just need to see that again because very super high skill right here. just to know to pop that over the defender's head and move into space. And then here, she's going to play this ball. It's going to be turned over. I think from watching her, she didn't turn the ball over against Dominican Republic. I don't remember her turning it over against Argentina. Once we got to better opponents like Mexico, Colombia, she's really only turning it over once or twice per game at most. So this is a very rare misstep for her, but she plays that ball. Not really anybody there in a position to receive it, and it gets turned over. But I don't think it's that terrible of a ball, honestly. I think she does a nice job here to get her hips turned. Like, this looks like, how is she going to get a pass off to anywhere other than down here? So I think there's enough deception in the body that, you know, this should be a free lane. And I think what she's seeing is this big pocket of space here, which I think she's expecting Dahlkemper to run into. So, you know, just needs more time with this team to get on the same page, and it'll really be clicking soon. The next thing I want to talk about is her ability to advance the ball up the pitch, and I think there's primarily two ways she does this. The first is her ability to operate in tight spaces. So she's kind of up towards the box there, comes out wide, and then this touch is fantastic. To switch back and forth between the feet like that is such an effective move. And she looked great at all levels of competition. So against Brazil, again, very comfortable here, operating with two players close to her. And she's still in a tight space, but look, waits for the pressure and then dishes it out. So that's a really great teammate to have. Somebody that's going to do all the work to regain the ball, invite all that pressure in, and then just dish it off to you at the last minute once you're open. That is really nice. Let's look at one more from a Brazil game. This is Emily Fox with the ball, and then just passes it off. And I love how she sees this pocket of space here and isn't afraid to go through those three Brazilian players to get there. And again, just sends it out. This was probably one of the little highlight reel ones, and it's because she uses that same foot swap during the dribble. It's just so effective and lets her move through the smallest little spaces. I think Korbin, Fox, Albert, all three of them looked really, really nice together. I'm excited to see more of them together. Okay, so I said two ways that she helps advance the ball. The other thing that I think she does a lot is she has a very incisive pass. So this one almost looks like a clearance, but it's not. She knows exactly where that's going and plays it off really quickly. That one's nice. And then she'll do the same thing to help get penetration into the box. And this is just amazing. Absolutely zips past four. It's awesome. What a ball. So that was a really cool one. And then to me, right, the magic happens when we bring it all together. When she's able to help the team regain possession, move through tight spaces so she can dish off a really incisive ball to a teammate. And I think when we do finally see that assist, it's going to be on a play like this. So here she is in the middle, wins that ball back. Not shying away from the defenders here, moving into it, plays a great ball for Alex. Fine margin of error there, but, you know, that is really all three of them just coming together, and it will work out eventually. So I think that clip gives a really nice summary for, you know, what we've been looking at. How does she possess and advance the ball? I think also with her being a midfielder, we should take a minute to talk about defense. And we know that she's very focused on regaining possession. So her defensive mentality is, let's not play defense, let's have the ball. And that leads me to think, okay, this player may not like playing defense. They may not be very strong on defense. And that's not really what I saw. I think she had very, very good play tracking, and I think this comes from her having such great positional awareness as to, you know, where she is on the pitch, where the opponents are, where her teammates are. So group stage against Mexico, they're up in Mexico's half of the pitch. This is Korbin over here, and this is Midge, who's playing right back. And so she's going to lose that ball, and Korbin is very aware of Sonic coming up, very aware of the fact that Midge is way back here, so she's tracking this run. She's going to do a nice job sticking with that, but not being too far out. And then as Midge comes in, she does a nice job there, right? Communicating, you get back into your spot, I'm going to come into my spot. So really nice exchange, really good play recognition, and, you know, just made sure nothing happened there. Same game. Now this was a tough game for everybody. Not everybody's finest moments. I mentioned she has very, very few turnovers. This is one of the few, but I don't know if it's necessarily her fault. It's a tough ball, kind of a tough read, tough touch, just a little bit unlucky, but plays it really, really nicely on the recovery. Nice to see her naturally falling into a line there. That's a great sign. But look, she's also naturally blocking off that lane because she's just got that good awareness. She knows where she is relative to this player, and she knows where the rest of her teammates are. So she sees the opportunity here. Okay, I can get in there. I can help contain and delay this. So she's not really trying to make a tackle, and I think you can tell that by a little hand on the shoulder there. Really just trying to say, hey, hold up. I want this ball. Just trying to get him away and contain, and really let these guys reset. The problem is they don't reset. I don't know what they're doing here. I don't want to talk about it, but that is a fantastic save. This was not the finest game, but again, I think she did a pretty nice job there, being aware and tracking the play through. Another thing that I think is important to talk about is how she protects the box. The U.S. played her as a much deeper lying, more defensive midfielder, which means part of her role when the team is on defense is really going to be making sure nobody's able to penetrate into the box. So I want to take a look at that with this clip from the Colombia game, because this is a very good team with very good players. Yeah, so this is falling to Linda Caicedo, one of the stars of the moment. And then Korbin's over here, again, pretty decently spaced, not bunching up on anybody. And then I really like what she does here to just stamp the foot out. She's not trying to make a tackle. She's just trying to block off the lane. I think it's really nice. And I think it's a nice pairing with Haran. I don't think they're getting in too tight on each other. So yeah, nice job, block the lane. And what I really like here is she doesn't follow this runner. She's not tempted to concede her position, which is great because look at that body weight shift from Caicedo. She's about to pop in here, it looks like. So I think they do a nice job not doubling up too much, not getting lost tracking somebody that's irrelevant for the moment. So I would say 9 out of 10 for that. It's pretty nice. All right, we've looked at some offense, we've looked at some defense. Korbin Albert is only 20 years old, so what do we want to see her work on? This is her over here. And I want you to bear in mind that this is the semifinal. So at this point, this is the 5th game of the tournament that she's playing in. And this is about to be her very first header. I don't know if you can call that a header. I know it's, you know, it's in tight. There's not a lot of time to react, but that is not great. So yeah, she doesn't like to head the ball. And I think there's 2 issues here. I think the first one is form. And I think this was a pretty clear example. You know, she really doesn't contest these a lot, but on the very rare occasion she does. That's what it looks like. I need to see her do better here for a few reasons. One, plenty of time, space. She's uncontested. No one's coming in for that. The ball is coming down pretty nicely. It's a high ball, but it's coming down pretty predictably. And then when she does get up there, you know, the back's going one way, the legs are going the other way. It's not good form, so she needs to clean that up. And I think as a result of that, she's not very confident in her headers, which causes reluctance to head the ball. So she's over here. She's in a great position, holding her space really nicely, but she's going to let that go right over her head. And you can almost see her thinking, who's going to come get that for me? And no one. And it's allowed to play in the box because of it. And this wasn't a one-time thing. She had almost the same look against Brazil. Here she is over here. And she's just not going to contest this ball. She doesn't really try to win the space. She doesn't even jump up for the header. So definitely something in her game that she needs to work on. Okay, we've looked at a good deal of film, so let's take a minute to close this out and go talk about if she's making the Olympic roster. Looking at the film, I feel like I saw a player that was confident, capable, and ready to contribute to this team now. I think the important thing to remember is that the very first group stage game was only her second ever time playing with the women's national team and her first ever time starting for the women's national team. She played in all 6 games, and during the 2-hour-long semifinal against Canada, she wasn't subbed out. They took Sam Coffey out instead. She played 424 minutes over 19 days. So this team already trusts this player a lot. She is going to be going to the Olympics, and she is going to be a major part of that team. Who else is going? Maybe Alyssa Thompson, maybe Jaden Shaw. I'm doing videos on both of them. Hope to get those released in the next month. If there's any other players you want to see content on, let me know in the comments, and we'll get that done. All right, thanks for watching.